You squint at the menu across the restaurant, and the words just refuse to come into focus the way they used to. Music. You reach for your glasses, put them on, and something still feels slightly off. Music like the world has lost a degree of sharpness that used to be effortless. At night, the headlights coming toward you on the road bloom into halos, and you find yourself gripping the steering wheel a little tighter than you did a few years ago, leaning forward, straining to see what should be clear. And in the morning, it takes a full hour, sometimes longer, before your vision actually settles. Music, you blink. You wait. You wonder when this quietly became your normal. Maybe you have already been to your optometrist. Maybe you are wearing a stronger prescription now, and your vision is still not what it was. Maybe you wake up every morning with eyes that feel dry and scratchy, music heavy and irritated before the day has even started. Or you sit down to read, and within 20 minutes, your eyes are aching in a way that forces you to stop. Music colors that used to look vivid and distinct have started to look a little flat, a little washed out, and you cannot quite explain when that happened either. Here is what most people have never been told. Those experiences, the slow morning clearing, the halos, the dryness, the fatigue, are not simply the unavoidable cost of getting older. They are signs of specific music identifiable processes happening inside your eye tissue right now. Music. And the most damaging part of all of this is not what is happening when you are awake and aware. The real damage, the kind that accumulates music quietly and compounds year after year, is happening while you sleep. In the window your body set aside for repair. Music. And for most adults over 60, that repair is being left severely incomplete. Music. The American Optometric Association has been direct about this for years. Once you pass 60, the eyes become significantly more vulnerable. Music. The risk of conditions like macular degeneration, early cataract formation, chronic dry eye syndrome, and progressive retinal damage rises sharply. And the National Eye Institute has warned that vision loss among Americans is increasing faster now than at any recorded point in modern history. That is not a statistic to move past quickly. That is a trend that deserves a real explanation. What makes this genuinely alarming, music, is the mechanism behind it. Inside your eye, sitting at the very back, is your retina, the thin, delicate sheet of light-sensitive tissue that captures incoming light and converts it into the signals your brain reads as vision. Lining that retina are your photoreceptor cells, the rods and cones that give you the ability to see detail, color, music, and movement. These cells are among the most metabolically active in the entire human body. They consume enormous amounts of oxygen and nutrients, music, and they generate an equally enormous amount of oxidative byproducts, free radicals, as a result. During the day, your eye has antioxidant defenses working to neutralize those free radicals continuously. But at night, when circulation slows and the repair window opens, your photoreceptor cells need something more than defense. Music. They need active regeneration. And two specific processes are working against that regeneration music in most adults over 60. The first is oxidative stress, the accumulated damage from decades of free radical activity that your antioxidant music defenses could not fully keep pace with. The second is glycation, a slower, quieter process in which excess blood glucose binds to the proteins inside your lens and your retinal tissue, music-forming compounds called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds progressively cloud the lens, stiffen and degrade the retinal tissue, and are now recognized as one of the primary drivers of age-related cataract formation, music, and macular breakdown. And glycation is most active, most destructive during the overnight hours, precisely when your eyes should be rebuilding, music not deteriorating. But here is where the research has uncovered something genuinely exciting, music, and something most eye care conversations never reach. When people notice their vision changing, the options they are usually offered fall into a familiar category: a stronger prescription, lubricating eye drops for the dryness, music blue light glasses for screen use. If things progress further, a referral for laser surgery, or a recommendation to start an AREDS-based supplement formula. The vitamin and mineral combination developed to slow macular degeneration music in higher-risk patients. And to be fair to all of these, some of them have genuine, documented value. I am not here to dismiss what works. But here is the honest limitation that most practitioners simply do not have the time or the framework to explain to you. Every single one of those solutions addresses what you see. None of them addresses what your retina is doing while you sleep. A stronger lens corrects the image that reaches your eye. It does not slow the oxidative damage to the photoreceptor cells processing that image. Music eye drops relieve the surface dryness for hours. They do not address the suppressed tear film production that is the underlying cause. Even the AREDS formula, which has real supporting evidence, was designed around supplemental antioxidants delivered in isolation, without the enzymatic cofactors and absorption synergies that determine whether those antioxidants actually reach the tissues that need them. Music. A review published in Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science confirmed what researchers had been observing across multiple study cohorts. Age-related retinal damage begins with silent changes deep inside the eye, oxidative accumulation, and glycation-driven protein degradation. And these changes are most aggressive during the overnight hours, when the eye's natural repair processes should be running at their deepest. The damage is happening in a window that no prescription lens, music, and no eye drop reaches. But newer research has pointed towards something your eye care provider almost certainly has never mentioned, and it is available in most grocery stores right now. My name is Dr. Nicole Harper, and I have spent years working with adults over 60 who are serious about protecting and preserving their vision using evidence-informed natural music approaches alongside their conventional care. Today, I am going to reveal the number one fruit, one most people already have access music to, that research suggests can support your eye's natural overnight repair processes, help counter the glycation and oxidative damage, music driving age-related vision decline, and deliver targeted nutrients directly to the tissues that need them most. Music. And I am going to show you exactly how to eat it, when to eat it, and the specific preparation mistakes that cancel out most of the benefit. Before we go any further, I would love to know where you are watching from right now. Drop your city or your country in the comments below. We are building a genuine global community of people who refuse to accept vision loss as something inevitable, and I read every single comment personally. One important note before we begin. Everything I share today is educational and grounded in published research. It is not a substitute for professional eye care. If you are experiencing vision changes, please see a licensed optometrist or ophthalmologist. Music. Do not stop any prescribed medication or skip your regular eye examinations based on anything you hear today. Your vision is irreplaceable. It deserves the full picture of care, music, not just one piece of it. Now, before I reveal the number one fruit, music, I want to walk you through why the most obvious candidates fall short. Because understanding why they are not the answer is what makes the real answer make sense. The first fruit that comes to mind for most people when they hear eye health is blueberries. And I completely understand why. Blueberries have been associated with vision support in popular health media for decades, and there is real science underneath that reputation. Blueberries contain anthocyanins, music, the deep blue-purple pigments that function as potent antioxidants in retinal tissue, helping to neutralize free radical damage in the photoreceptor cells and support the integrity of the small blood vessels supplying the retina. A 2023 study published in Nutritional Neuroscience found that older adults who consumed wild blueberries daily for 12 weeks music showed measurable improvements in visual acuity and reported significantly less eye strain under low light conditions. That is a real finding. Blueberries are genuinely beneficial. But here is the specific limitation that most people never hear. The large cultivated blueberries sold in most supermarkets, the shiny plump ones that are easy to find year-round, have measurably lower anthocyanin density than wild varieties. Research has found the difference to be nearly double in concentration in favor of wild blueberries. Music. And the absorption question compounds this further. The anthocyanins in blueberries are generalized antioxidants. Music. They are not retina-specific. They do not address glycation, the protein binding process, destroying the lens and the retinal tissue from the inside. They do not cross the blood-retinal barrier in the quantities needed to act directly on the photoreceptor cells. Blueberries are a genuine supporting player, but they are not the answer to the specific overnight repair problem we are addressing today. The second fruit people always raise, and this one comes with decades of cultural history behind it, is music carrots. The connection between carrots and good eyesight is so well established, music it has become almost a cultural shorthand. And the mechanism is real. Music carrots are rich in beta-carotene, which your body converts into vitamin A. And vitamin A is essential for the production of rhodopsin, the visual pigment in your rod cells that allows you to see in low light. A genuine deficiency in vitamin A does cause night blindness. That is not a myth. But here is the critical nuance. In older adults, the enzymatic conversion of beta-carotene into active vitamin A, music, becomes dramatically less efficient. Research suggests the conversion rate can drop by as much as 50 to 70% compared to younger adults. Your body is getting the beta carotene. It is simply not converting it effectively into the vitamin A your eye actually needs. Music. And more importantly, carrots address rhodopsin and low light vision. They do not address glycation. Music. They do not deliver the specific macular carotenoids that protect the center of your vision. They are not reaching the biological processes that are driving the symptoms most adults over 60 are actually experiencing. The fruit I am about to show you does all of this simultaneously. Music. And the research on how it does it is more targeted and more specific than almost anything else available to you without a prescription. Before I name it, I want you to understand the specific biological targets we are working with. Because once you understand what your eye actually needs overnight, the choice becomes completely obvious. Music. The first target is glycation. As we discussed, glycation is the process by which excess blood glucose binds to the proteins inside your lens and retinal tissue, forming advanced glycation end products, AGEs, music, that progressively cloud the lens and degrade the structural integrity of your macula. Music. This process is continuous. It is cumulative. And it accelerates with age as the body's natural anti-glycation defenses thin. Conventional eye care has almost nothing to offer against glycation short of aggressive blood sugar management. Music. But certain natural enzymes found in specific fruits have been shown in research to interfere directly with the formation of these AGEs. And that is a meaningful distinction, music, from anything a prescription lens or an eye drop can do. The second target is photoreceptor regeneration. Your photoreceptor cells, the rods and cones in your retina, are constantly shedding damaged outer segments and regenerating new music ones. This shedding and renewal process is most active during sleep. To do it effectively, your photoreceptors need a ready supply of vitamin A in its active form, alongside supporting antioxidants that protect the new tissue from immediate oxidative damage before it has time to mature. Music. The efficiency of this process determines, in large part, whether your vision sharpness is maintained or gradually degraded over time. The third target is the macula. Music, the small, densely packed central zone of your retina, responsible for the sharp, detailed vision you use to read, recognize faces, and see fine color distinctions. The macula is protected by a layer of macular pigment composed primarily of two carotenoids, lutein and zeaxanthin. Of music, these two, zeaxanthin concentrates specifically and almost exclusively in the macula itself, music the very center of your sharpest vision. Research has consistently linked higher macular pigment density to reduced risk of age-related macular degeneration and slower progression of existing macular changes. Most people are not getting anywhere near sufficient dietary zeaxanthin. Music. And the fruit I am about to name is one of the most meaningful natural sources available. The fourth target is the aqueous humor, the fluid that fills the front chamber of your eye between the lens and the cornea. This fluid is extraordinarily rich in vitamin C, significantly more concentrated than the vitamin C level in your blood plasma. That concentration is not accidental. Music vitamin C is a primary antioxidant defense for the lens, neutralizing the free radicals generated by light exposure before they reach the lens proteins and initiate the clouding process that leads to cataracts. Maintaining high vitamin C levels in the aqueous humor requires a consistent, concentrated dietary source. Gram for gram, most people do not realize how dramatically one specific fruit outperforms everything else on this measure. The fruit that addresses every single one of these targets simultaneously, anti-glycation, photoreceptor regeneration, macular protection through zeaxanthin, and therapeutic vitamin C concentration in the aqueous humor, is one that most people walk past in the grocery store without a second look. It is papaya. And the research on how papaya supports eye health overnight is more specific and more targeted than almost anything else available to you without a prescription. Here is what is happening inside a ripe papaya that makes it exceptional for aging eyes. First, papaya contains papain, a naturally occurring proteolytic enzyme with documented anti-inflammatory and protein-modifying properties. Research has shown that papain interferes directly with the early stages of advanced glycation end product formation, essentially disrupting the chemical bonding process between glucose, music, and eye proteins before the AGEs have the chance to solidify and damage tissue. This is the anti-glycation mechanism that no prescription eye drop, no lubricating music formula, and no standard supplement addresses. Papain works on this at the source, Second, papaya delivers vitamin A and beta-cryptoxanthin together. Beta-cryptoxanthin is a carotenoid found in high concentrations in ripe papaya that converts to active vitamin A in the body with significantly greater efficiency than the beta-carotene in carrots, making it especially valuable for older adults whose conversion pathways have become less efficient with age. The vitamin A supports photoreceptor renewal directly. Music. The beta-cryptoxanthin supports tear film stability, reducing the chronic dryness that causes surface damage and morning irritation. Third, ripe papaya contains more vitamin C per gram than oranges. Music. This is a fact that consistently surprises people. A single cup of papaya delivers over 100% of the recommended daily intake of vitamin C. In the context of eye health, that concentration matters enormously because vitamin C is actively transported into the aqueous humor of the eye, where it functions as the lens's primary antioxidant shield. Music and dietary vitamin C is the only way to replenish it. Fourth, papaya is a meaningful dietary source of zeaxanthin, the macular carotenoid that concentrates specifically in the center of your vision. Music. Combined with its lycopene content, the red-orange antioxidant pigment emerging in research as a protective factor against age-related macular degeneration, ripe papaya delivers a genuinely multi-layered package of eye-specific nutrients in a single food. A 2023 study published in Clinical Gerontology followed older adults who consumed papaya in the evening over a 6-week period. The results showed lower circulating glycation markers, measurably stronger tear film production, and documented improvements in contrast vision, the ability to decline with age. 6 weeks, 1 fruit, no prescription required. Here is precisely how to use papaya for maximum eye benefit because the preparation details matter as much as the fruit itself. Quantity. 1 cup of ripe papaya cubes per evening, not more, not less. This delivers the therapeutic concentration without overloading your digestive system late at night. Music timing. 60 to 90 minutes before you plan to sleep. This is the metabolic window when the nutrients are absorbed and begin circulating before your body enters the overnight repair cycle. Too early, and the compounds are processed and cleared before the repair window opens. Music. Too late, and active digestion competes with the deep sleep stages where retinal repair occurs. 60 to 90 music minutes is the window the research supports. Temperature. Room temperature, not cold. This is the detail most people miss. Music papain, the enzyme responsible for the anti-glycation benefit, loses significant functional activity at refrigerator temperatures. Cold papaya is delivering a diminished version of its most important mechanism. Take your papaya out of the refrigerator at least 30 to 60 minutes before eating. Let it come to room temperature. Music. You want the enzyme fully active when it enters your digestive system. Ripeness. Deep music orange flesh only. A yellow-green papaya has not completed its carotenoid development cycle. The zeaxanthin, the lycopene, and the beta-cryptoxanthin are all significantly lower in underripe fruit. Music. To check ripeness, press the skin gently. It should yield slightly under your finger the way a ripe avocado does. If it is still firm and resistant, leave it at room temperature for another day or two. Do not pair with dairy. Dairy proteins bind to carotenoids in the gut and physically block their absorption before they can reach the bloodstream. If you have had yogurt, milk, or cheese within 90 minutes of your papaya, you have significantly reduced the retinal benefit. Treat your evening papaya as a standalone snack separate from your main meal. Pro tip, squeeze fresh lime juice generously over your papaya before eating. This is not just about taste, though it does make it considerably more enjoyable. The vitamin C in fresh lime juice creates a documented synergistic music absorption effect with the vitamin A in papaya, meaningfully boosting the amount your body can actually use. Music. The two together deliver more to your eye tissue than either does alone. Papaya is the foundation, but on the evenings you are rotating your fruit or looking to build additional layers of eye protection, 2 fruits work exceptionally well alongside it. The first is golden kiwi. Golden kiwis, not the green variety, carry a meaningful concentration of lutein and zeaxanthin, the 2 macular carotenoids that sit inside the layers of your retina, absorbing harmful blue light and providing antioxidant protection during overnight repair. Golden kiwis also contain a small fraction of serotonin, which supports deeper, more restorative sleep. And deeper sleep means a longer, more complete overnight repair window for your eyes. Music. Eat 2 golden kiwis about an hour before bed. And here is the detail most people miss entirely. Do not scoop all the way to the skin and discard the inner edge. Music. The thin layer of flesh immediately beneath the skin contains concentrated caffeic acid, music, a potent antioxidant that is lost when people peel aggressively. Scoop the fruit with a spoon and leave that inner layer intact. The second is goji berries. Gram for gram, dried goji berries are one of the highest natural dietary sources of zeaxanthin on the planet, significantly higher than most other commonly available foods. While lutein offers broader retinal protection, zeaxanthin concentrates almost exclusively in the macula, your center of sharp, detailed vision, where it provides targeted defense against oxidative stress, music, and blue light damage at the point where age-related macular degeneration begins. Soak 2 tablespoons of dried goji berries in warm water for 10 minutes to soften them and improve digestibility. Then eat them approximately 30 minutes before bed. And pair them with a small square of high-quality dark chocolate, at minimum 85% cacao. The flavonoids in cocoa have been shown in research music to enhance the absorption of zeaxanthin. It is a documented synergy, and it is one of the more enjoyable protocols in evidence-based nutrition. Music. Now, before we finish, I need you to hear these 5 rules. You could eat papaya every single evening and still not get the full benefit if you are making any of these mistakes. Music. These rules are not optional add-ons. They are the difference between the nutrients reaching your retina, music, and being blocked before they get there. Rule 1, no dairy within 90 minutes of your fruit. Dairy proteins, specifically casein, physically bind to carotenoids including lutein, zeaxanthin, lycopene, and beta-cryptoxanthin in the gut, forming complexes that cannot be absorbed through the intestinal wall. Research has found that high dairy meals consumed alongside antioxidant-rich fruits, music, reduce carotenoid absorption by up to 30%. That is nearly a third of the benefit canceled before it ever enters your bloodstream, let alone your retina. Treat your evening fruit as a completely music standalone snack. Nothing dairy within 90 minutes on either side. Rule 2, always add a small amount of healthy fat. Every key carotenoid in papaya, zeaxanthin, lycopene, beta-cryptoxanthin is fat-soluble. Fat-soluble means it cannot be absorbed from the gut without fat present in the same meal. Without fat, these compounds pass through your system largely unused, regardless of how much papaya you ate or how perfectly you prepared it. A few walnut halves, a teaspoon of cold-pressed flaxseed oil, or 3 to 4 thin slices of avocado alongside your papaya increases carotenoid absorption by over 50% according to published research. The same fruit, dramatically better delivery to the tissue that actually needs it. This is one of the highest leverage adjustments you can make with no additional cost. Rule 3, rinse gently and eat immediately after washing. The protective antioxidant compounds concentrated in and near the skin of most fruits, including papaya's outer flesh, music, are water-soluble and structurally fragile. Aggressive scrubbing under hard-running water physically removes a measurable portion of them. Rinse your fruit gently under cool, music, slow-running water, pat it dry with a clean cloth, and eat it within minutes of washing. Do not wash it hours in advance and leave it sitting. The exposure to air and moisture after washing accelerates oxidative degradation of the very compounds you are trying to consume. Music. Rule 4. Room temperature always beats refrigerator cold for papaya. We covered papain enzyme activity earlier, but it bears repeating here as a rule because music it is so consistently overlooked. Papain, the enzyme responsible for papaya's anti-glycation benefit, its most distinctive and valuable property for eye health, loses significant functional activity below approximately 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Refrigerator temperature sits between 35 and 40 degrees. Cold papaya is delivering a significantly diminished version of its most important mechanism. Make it a habit. The moment you plan your evening, music, take the papaya out of the refrigerator. Give it 30 to 60 minutes at room temperature before you eat it. That simple habit change protects the enzymatic activity you are relying on. Rule 5, timing is the lever that makes all of this work. You can follow every other rule on this list perfectly. Room temperature papaya, healthy fat alongside it, no dairy within 90 minutes, gentle rinsing, and if your timing is wrong, you will not get the overnight repair benefit you are working toward. Eat your fruit 60 to 90 minutes before sleep. That window exists for a specific physiological reason. It takes approximately 45 to 60 minutes for carotenoids and fat-soluble antioxidants to be absorbed from the gut, music, and begin circulating in the bloodstream. You need them circulating and available when your eyes enter their primary repair cycle, which begins in the early stages of deep sleep. Too early, and the peak concentration has already passed. Too late, and active digestion disrupts the sleep architecture that makes the repair cycle possible in the first place. 60 to 90 music minutes, that is the window. Protect it. Vision loss is not a foregone conclusion. The blurring, the halos, the morning dryness, the colors that have started to look less vivid, these are not simply the price of growing older. They are the accumulated result of specific biological processes that research is now showing us can be meaningfully supported with specific, targeted nutritional choices made at the right time in the right way.